That's why I like to live, it's a blessing for me. Say that your dreams will be your mate. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey, I'm having a wonderful day. That's why I like to live, it's a blessing for me. Say that your dreams will be your mate. Cause I'm having a wonderful day. Hey, hey. Hey, what's up, good people? What's up, Moroccans? What's up, my black people? It's another Friday. Welcome to Live at 5, presented by Peep Game TV. I'm your man, SRD, and as usual, we're here to uplift fallen humanity. One person, one family, one neighborhood, one city, one state at a time. Want to wait a little bit till we get some people on, and then, begin. But however, today I want to talk about what issues we have as so-called black people. And one of our issues is, well, I could say two issues. One issue is both black men and black women have problems being able to work together for the good of each other as well as the good of the family. My niece asked me a question yesterday, and the question, kind of stuck in my mind. I'm going to get back to the question, as I said, once we get some more people on. The thing is that we have issues when it comes to connecting the younger people with the older people and the men and the women connecting in a way that is productive and healthy to strengthen the family unit. Without the young people and the older people, as well as the men and women being able to connect, we are going to continue to be at a disadvantage. The disadvantage comes with because at the end of the day, young people have the youth, young people have the energy, the older people have the wisdom. So we need each other. We need to be able to connect on a level where we are able to work together for the good of the whole unit, for the good of us as a people. That's what it's going to take for us to get to the level that we all are looking for and striving to get to and having difficulty getting there. It's the young people, it's time for you young people, as well as us elders, to understand that each one teach one. We learn from each other. There's no person that knows everything. Everyone has an ability to add something to what we are looking for as a people. We're looking to be able to go beyond where we have been at. And I find too often, even me, it's difficult for me to connect with my grandsons. And if any of you guys have some advice on how I can connect with them, uh, you're welcome to leave. Put some answers up there. And as I said on another occasion, I'm working on being able to have you guys on live with me so that we can interact together and be able to discuss issues and come up with solutions, because ultimately what we need is each other. For far too long, we've been looking for help outside of ourselves and hoping that other people will come up with the answers to what we need. And at the end of the day, nobody has the answers to change our conditions except us. You already know my stance on statehood. So right now, I don't have to really go into that. And as I was saying earlier, my niece asked me a question about an alpha male. And she asked me, was I an alpha male? And I said to my niece, yes, when I need to be. When I need to be an alpha male, I'm an alpha male. However, there are times where, as an alpha male, when we're dealing with our women or we're dealing with our children, we it's necessary for us to be able to be humble. It's necessary for us to be able to listen. It's necessary for us to be able to be compassionate and understanding. Normally, as an alpha male, we take a position of being able to just dictate to other people. And a lot of times, as alpha males, we're not open to suggestions and advice. And as an alpha male, I realized that about myself, that far too many times I was unwilling to listen to other people's advice, which created hardship and it also created distance. Everyone wants to be heard, everyone wants to be listened to, and everyone wants to be appreciated. So, as an alpha male, yes, we are the ones who lead the family. Yes, we are the ones who protect the family. Yes, we are the ones who bring structure to the family. However, we also need to lead by example. We also need to be able to, as I said earlier, to be able to listen to those around us, to those whom we are guiding. Because in order to guide the individuals, you're gonna it's necessary to know what needs to be done and what are their needs. It's important for us to begin to change mindsets that has been conditioned to cause us to be distant from each other. And it's time to be able to reestablish or reawakening that part in our mind that will help us to begin to start to connect better with each other. And that's on all levels. However, as I was saying in the beginning, that the crucial level is the men and the women, the husband and wives, the boyfriends and girlfriends, though the parents, it's essential that as parents, we be able to connect on a level that will be able to be beneficial to the children. It's also necessary for us to show each other affection around the children because what other way will children learn how to be affectionate? What other way will children learn how to love if they are not shown how to love through those whom they are around? So, therefore, it's necessary for us as parents, us as the elders, or us as role models to show love to the younger people so that they will understand what love is about. Far too often, many of us are not showing the proper love, and then there are those of us who are. However, it is necessary, it is essentially necessary for each and every one of us to feel love, to be able to display love, and to get an understanding of what love is. Love is more than just a word. Love is action. Love is how you interact with individuals. Things you say, things you don't say when you're dealing with love. Love causes you to do things that you don't want to do because you love a person that much that you want to make sure that that person's well-being is at the top of the list. However, also, it's about loving yourself. It's about loving yourself enough to know how far you will go and how far you won't go for the sake of love. Now, many individuals get caught up doing things that they later regret behind love. And that's when many of us don't really understand the love of self, because if you're not able to love yourself and make yourself happy, then it's always going to be a problem for you to show love and help someone else find happiness. At the end of the day, it's our duty to each other to do the best of our ability to allow each other to have a life with little or least stress and aggravation as possible. When we are dealing with each other and we're dealing with the outside society, we all know that we need relief, we need a sanctuary, we need comfort. And it's up to us to provide that for each other, to provide that comfort, to provide that sanctuary for each other. That is our duty to each other, to be able to provide comfort and sanctuary. And ultimately, the goal is choose happiness rather than always trying to make a point, especially when it comes to conversations. One of the major problems that many of us experience is due to conversations where we misunderstand what is each other is trying to communicate based on what we already have in our minds, or by cutting each other off, wanting to get our point before we truly listen to the other individual's point. That is something that we all need to work on, because it's necessary to cause for any relationship to grow, to have good communication. And good communication is not one person dictating the terms, but both people being heard, both people opinion, feelings, and choices being respected, because we remember we are two different individuals coming together to build a life together. So therefore, each of us have a personal obligation to strive to work on ourselves more so than we strive to work on someone else in order to change a condition. Because remember, if you're unable to control your emotions, how in the world can you control someone else's emotions? You have control over what you say and do, and the other person has control over what they say and do. Far too often, people strive to control what other people say and do, and that's where we come into the complications. Because once you really love and care about someone, you begin to want to make those type of changes, the necessary changes that will make the relationship much more smoother and much more stress-free and much more happier. This is what we're all looking for in relationships, we're looking for someone that can connect with us where we don't have to be phony, where we can be ourselves and be comfortable being ourselves and not have to feel like we have to tiptoe around the individual because we're afraid of how they're going to react. These are things that you work out through conversations. You learn how to treat each other by dealing with each other. If you're constantly running from relationship to relationship, guess what? You don't really get the opportunity to learn how to operate in a relationship because you're not testing yourself, you're not being challenged enough to be able to grow. Me, myself, I was bad with that. I was bad with once something didn't go my way, I was out. Plain and simple. I'm gone to the next. However, what it took for me to start to learn was staying in the relationship, dealing with the drama, and understanding why, where, and why did the drama occur. Far too often, I was looking at other people thinking that what they've done caused me to react a certain way. I had to start looking at myself and saying, hold up, why am I allowing what this individual said and what this individual did cause me to lose control of myself? So I began to start controlling how I respond in uncomfortable situations because regardless to whom or what, there are going to be uncomfortable, complicated, stressful, emotionally overbearing situations where we're going to have to be we it's going to be essential for us to learn how to adjust our emotions as well as how to express our emotions towards each other. Far too often, I had the problem of not being able to put the words together to express how I felt about a situation. Sometimes I would wait until I was too angry, and now I'm coming across too aggressive and too hostile, which created more distance than closeness. Therefore, I began to start being mindful of not saying anything or forming my words when I was finding myself getting angry. It's okay to say to someone, look, let's table this. I'm getting far too emotional. And it's okay for the other person to give that person some time, give the individual some time to regroup and gather their thoughts and gain control over their emotions. Don't force the person to handle a situation when an individual is not emotionally prepared to handle the situation. Whenever you force a person to handle a situation that they are not emotionally prepared for, the outcome is normally a catastrophe. It normally gets worse before it gets better. Why? Because when a person is angry, automatically they gonna strike out to hurt someone else. That's just a natural reaction from anger. With that being said, we as men and women and fathers and mothers have a responsibility to those whom we connect with to be mindful of what we're doing and how we go about doing it. Because once you say a thing that hurts a person feeling, or you do a thing that hurts a person feeling, the apology doesn't take away the pain. The apology basically It's something you letting them know that you apologize. But, however, the best thing is to restrain yourself and let the person know before you do the action or say the thing that you will regret, and table the conversation. Once we are able to begin to start tabling conversations and wait till we're emotionally ready, then we will be able to have more healthier and much more productive interaction with each other. The interacting between each other is key to the well being of us as a whole. If we're unable to interact on a level where we are concerned about each other's emotional well being, then we have far too many people walking around emotionally unstable. We say that there's a lot of people with mental illness. A lot of people are having mental illness because the people around them are not being mindful of their emotional state. The people around them are being far too concerned with their own emotional state, and they're lashing out and causing the other individuals to have to deal with a lot of pain and discombobulation. What our responsibility, as I said, for each other is to be mindful, to be considerate, to be understanding, to be humble, to be able to build our tolerance towards each other. Many times, we as a people have a very low tolerance when it comes to each other. And that's causing us to be divided more so than to be unified. It's our responsibility as men and women, as fathers and mothers, as sisters and brothers, to be able to work together. And the work is on our individual selves first, and interact with each other and be able, and it's okay to be able to say to someone when you see them slipping, but find a way to strive to say it that you don't make this person feel like you're belittling them, because you are striving to give them some advice that will help them be more productive and help their lives be more organized. Once we get back to that point where we are more concerned with each other's well being and less concerned with what we can get from each other, then we will be able to reestablish the closeness and the family unity that we once had. Now, many of you may already be doing this. And if you're doing this, kudos. However, it's still something that many of us, it is truly necessary and essential for us to work on. As I was saying in the beginning, we need the connection. We need to be able to connect no matter what our ages is. We need to be able to connect on a level where our goal is the well-being of each other. Once we continuously begin to connect on, and our goal is the well-being of each other, we will be able to rule out a lot of unhappiness, a lot of anger, a lot of loneliness, a lot of jealousy, all of these type of things that has come into our culture and has caused us to have turmoil between each other in certain occasions, in certain situations. It's our responsibility as our brother and sisters keepers to keep in mind that how you feel about a certain things, when your feelings get hurt, other people's feelings get hurt as well. You want to be understood, you want to be listened to, other people want to be understood and listened to as well. This is just the way it is as human beings. And the other thing is, it's okay to be different. Because we're different doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad, doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong. All it means is just we do things differently. One person may like grits and cheese. Another person may like sugar in their grits. Both are okay, depending on what you like. And when we like something, it's okay to like what you like. It's okay as long as what you're like is not causing people you love, people you care about, people whom look up to you, or people whom you're responsible for hardship. That's one of the things that I had to learn. I had to learn how to be more mindful of my wife. When I was coming up, I came up in a time where it was about get as many women as you can. And the more women that you get, the more recognized you were. So it caused me to basically be a womanizer. It caused me to basically be looking for women just for sex and really not for relationships. And I don't think that changed much in this generation when it comes to women and sex. At the end of the day, sex is fine. We all want it, we all need it. However, when we are running from this one to that one and sex and this and that, we're not building a foundation. And we are creating, in some cases, children without any type of emotional ties or any type of connection other than sexual. So if we create a child and we don't have any kind of connection, think of how difficult it becomes to try to connect for the sake of the child. And now, after just being with a person just for sex, and now a child is involved, now, how do you change that? How do you change that connection from sexual to parental, a parental connection? That's something we each have to consider. We have to consider when we're looking for other people and when we out here just having casual sex. We have to be mindful as people because through sex, children are born. Sex was really to reproduce. However, it has become something that we do mostly for pleasure, sometimes for stress release. We've put a number of different labels of why we have sex. However, the main purpose was to reproduce, and we each have to keep that in mind when it comes to dealing with other individuals. So, as we wind down to the last few seconds, I just want all of you to know that I love you like I love myself. And for us to love each other and grow together and be able to make our culture not just a influence where we influence people, but a culture where people look up and are being guided by us as formerly known Black people, now currently known as Moroccan Moors. Till Monday, I wish you love, peace, and understanding. To the next time, peace.